Madume ka lapeng re le amohela naneo la rona le ratahang e leng the Ladies Club mona kanaleng ya rona ya bobedi ke lona nalo la rona le kete ka mafumahadi a rona a dipapadi mo e motle nna lebitso la ka ke Lebohang Motswedi.
Greetings to you all. My name is Valen Kirtley. Good morning to you, Lebs. So good to be with you because we have an amazing show lined up for you today. We'll be sharing great conversations about sport, life, and just about being phenomenal women, as we always like to do here on the Ladies Club.
Absolutely, and our guest today is a fabulous, very fabulous aerobic gymnastics champion, Dominique Man Kraus, and I just can't wait to get our chat underway because she's also completely changed discipline. It's no longer just gymnastics.
Yes, and that's something that we're going to be speaking more about. You're welcome to join in the conversation on Twitter. It's so easy, at sports at SABC, at Lebo Motswedi, at Valen Kirtley. We're also on Instagram, on Facebook, and you just got to use our hashtag the Ladies Club.
Now, our topic on TLC today is all about women who are hoisting the South African flag high. And as we start the new year full of hope and great aspirations for the months ahead, let's also take time to inspire by celebrating women who are making us proud by representing us so well on the international stage, Valen.
Ooh, you say that, and I can't think of anybody other than our Banyana team, who don't seem to have taken any time off, starting off January with 3 international matches. And that was after Desiree Ellis and Thembi Kgatlana made the country so proud at the CAF Awards by winning CAF Women's Coach of the Year, Goal of the Year for Thembi Kgatlana, as well as CAF Women's Player of the Year, only the second South African ever to win that award.
That's
absolutely
after
brilliant,
Chloe, right?
Yes.
I mean, incredible. She's so young, so talented, plays for Houston Dash in the States. And I'm hoping that all that magic is going to continue because currently they are preparing, obviously, besides the international games, to take on the rest of the world come France in a couple of months' time. We're talking about the Women's World Cup. So absolutely fantastic work by Banyana Slopasarona Sabolama to Samafumahad.
You know, we speak about Banyana being great inspirations. We've got a brilliant inspiration right in studio with us. Our guest, Dominique Mann, is a true asset to South Africa and has done well in making the country proud. She'll tell us all about her achievements in a short while. Remember that you can get involved in our conversation. Let's just go over how people can speak to us.
Absolutely. It's at Lebo Motswedi, at Valen Kirtley, at Sport, at SABC, Sebedisang, hashtag ya rona eling the Ladies Club. O tla re fumana ko Twitter, ko Facebook, hape o tla re fumana ko Instagram. Hopolang hore we also have plenty of inspirational stories that you guys also want to hear about. And we talked about Thembi Kgatlana, Desiree Ellis, but gompieno ha re qale ka quote ya rona he e tlo re inspire gompieno le that woman who does not require validation from anyone is the most feared individual on the planet. Coach Iswaho Muhadisa Najumi.
Yeah, now let me tell you a thing or two about Mahadisa. She's a British writer and an existential thinker based in London. She received her BA in Politics and History from the University of Westminster in London, and she studied for her MSc in Political Science and International Relations at the University of Amsterdam. She's a prominent women's rights blogger whose work has been published across the globe. Her infamous validation quote, which you just heard, has been shared internationally by scholars, governments, Lebo Motswedi, and artists alike. She's currently writing a book on personal development.
I think that that quote is so profound, especially in a day where we're looking at social media being so influential and the people posting and wanting validation from people they hardly know. So it's important to, I think, dig within yourself first before you seek validation from someone who's just going to give you I don't know, 10-letter sentence, 10-worded sentence, and crush your dreams.
Yeah, it's always been important that we need to back ourselves and be sure of exactly who you are and have confidence in that. But I think in this day and age, just like you so rightly said, with the prominence of social media and the effect that it has in every single person's life, the need for having self-confidence is so, so important. Don't seek validation, validate yourself first.
Absolutely. Was in studio, she's waiting, she's standing. She's looking fabulous. So she's going to tell us all about her journey in aerobic gymnastics. Mare, uchinchile discipline. Hasan ka karolo ko paparing yari gymnastics. Ribuaka Dominic Man Kraus.
Welcome back. You're watching The Ladies Club. Please get involved in our conversation on social media. Hashtag The Ladies Club, at Lebo Motswedi, at Sports at SABC, at Valen Kirtley. Now, a game changer today. We've been promoting her throughout the first segment. She's one of South Africa's most diverse and talented athletes. She hails from KwaZulu-Natal and she's proudly South African aerobic gymnast par excellence. And she's now swapped over codes because she's now doing obstacle course racing.
Imagine.
And, you know,
mud from glitz and glamour. I want to hear all about that.
Well, her impressive trophy cabinet and medal collection could rival any high achiever in the sports world. As a group, she won a bronze medal at the World Cup in Bulgaria with Happy and Wilson. And we'll be speaking about that. And she's got a whole host of individual medals too.
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. Let's welcome her to the Ladies Club, Dominique Man. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much and thank you for having me.
Good morning. It's so great to have you here with us.
Thank
and
you.
also because actually you're based in Dubai now.
Yeah.
So to have you in studio is quite a privilege.
Yes.
Very honored for you to take time out to come to Johannesburg, even just to give us a little bit of a snippet into the life of Dominique Man, the athlete, the South African champion, former South African champion. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Sure, it's been a long journey. I'm very thankful to have had a long and successful career in gymnastics. I wasn't ready to retire. I know a lot of athletes aren't. I definitely wasn't ready to retire, but it comes to a stage where you have to. That was probably my biggest thing to deal with so far being an athlete was retiring from gymnastics because I held the national championship title for 10 years.
Sure.
So that was hard to walk away from that at the top.
Why did you?
I think you don't get a lot of 32-year-old gymnasts. It's, you know, I was very rare to have such a long, successful career. I was very lucky that I was also injury-free.
Wow.
And then myself and my coach, Alta Latgang, you know, we have a very good relationship. And she said, listen, Dom, if you get to the specific competition, you know, it's time to call it quits. You will have reached the top of your game. I tried to qualify for that competition twice and I failed. And on the third time lucky, I qualified. So, you know, I had to stick to the plan and retire. It was very difficult.
But take us back to when it all started, because a lot of people, when they listening to us, the only thing they can probably pick up is that you're a gymnast. But you're a different kind of gymnast, aerobic gymnast.
Yes.
Give us a little bit of the difference between the different classifications so we can educate our viewers.
Yes, so a lot of people don't know about aerobic gymnastics.
Yes.
They normally know about the gymnastics, you know, with the bar and the beam.
The rhythmic,
or the rhythmic with the ribbon.
Mm.
I do aerobic gymnastics, so it's just me and the floor. That's the apparatus, is just the floor. I previously had two men that I competed with, and, you know, they threw me around and we did beautiful lifts and choreography together. So it's basically, if I could explain it in the best way, it would be a combination of gymnastics and dance. And if you mix that together, very high energy, that's aerobic gymnastics.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you also used to participate in track and field events and
I
even
did.
won a bronze medal at a national championships in pole vaulting.
I did. It's a funny story, but when I knew I was going to make the move to Dubai, I thought, you know, hands down, I was going to move over to Dubai and become a pole vaulter. Only when I got there, I realized there was no pole vaulting in Dubai. So that was a big curveball as well in my career. I then had to, you know, find a new
Absolutely
sport.
no pole vaulting.
No pole vaulting. I looked for coaches, I looked for apparatus, there was nothing. So that was also another curveball. But, you know, as a determined athlete, you always find a way.
Wow.
So I found my new sport now.
Tell us about that new sport.
So obstacle course racing, it's a very new sport, but it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world at the moment. As I was saying to you earlier, it kind of just fell on my lap. You know, I never wanted to, from the glitz and glam, go into crawling on the floor with mud on my face. I didn't want to hear it, but, you know, it kind of came my way, and I tried it out and I did well very quickly. So, you know, it was kind of a no-brainer from then. But if someone had told me I was going to do that while I was wearing my glitzy leotard, I would have said definitely not.
So sport has always been a part of your life. Is this something that was ingrained in you by your parents?
Sportsmen, yes. My dad was a professional soccer player for the Dynamos back in the day, such a legend, top goal scorer. My mother was a gymnast, a professional dancer, so very sporty family, sporty background, was definitely going to be a sportswoman.
Sure. So even if it wasn't gymnastics, even if it wasn't the new sporting code that you find yourself in, it would have been still something in sport.
Yes. Also, I wasn't very academic at school. I battled, and I was a very determined girl. I mean, you know, so definitely into sport. That was my thing, and my parents knew right from little when I started sport that I was going to go far. I was very determined. I wasn't always the most talented athlete, but I worked the hardest, and I soon caught up to my peers and overtook them, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
And why would you say that aerobic gymnastics was something that really suited your type of personality and work ethic?
Yes, it's a very interesting question because my heart was in artistic gymnastics as a young child, you know, on the bar. I loved the bar and the beam, but my body type was very suited to aerobic gymnastics. So the national coach at the time, she came to me and she actually headhunted me and said, listen here, you've got the perfect body for aerobic gymnastics, give it a try. And that's how I started on the aerobic gymnastics. So with gymnastics especially, you've got to have the correct body type for the type of gymnastics you're doing. If you're born very supple and long-legged, you will go naturally into rhythmic gymnastics, you know. You just got to listen to your body.
And what is the footprint of aerobic gymnastics in South Africa?
It's not big in South Africa, so in order to do well in the sport, you have to have an international goal and do well internationally, which is what myself and my trio did. Had we not been good internationally, we would have faded into the background and nobody would have, you know, heard about us.
Sure.
But we trained very hard together. We set our international goals, and together with our coach, we traveled the world together.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Wilson Mafona and Happy Ledwaba, because you guys were the golden trio.
They are honestly my brothers. I will hold a special place in my heart forever. They are amazing guys. We went through everything, blood, sweat and tears together. I can tell you now, we laughed together, we fought, we did it all together. They are amazing, and I wish them well for the rest of their sporting journey. Happy also retired with me, but Wilson is still competing, and I hope he goes far with his individual journey.
You keep mentioning retirement. You retired in 2017.
Yes, so it's very fresh, and it was very difficult to retire.
Yeah.
Respect to all the athletes that go through it. It's hard, and I thought I wouldn't get affected by it because I knew I was going to take another sport on. I mean, you know, when I wake up in the morning, all I can think of is competing. So I knew I was going to go to another sport, but I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to walk away from gymnastics. It's my whole life.
Sure.
What is so difficult about it?
I think everyone knew me as Dominique Man, the gymnast, and the day I finished, you know, you think to yourself, what are you? And I know it's a silly thought, and when I look back, it was silly to think that, but at the time you think, okay, well, hang on now, who am I? You know, and you've got to find your identity again. And I was always very worried that I wouldn't find success in my new sport and that I would fade into the background, and that was a big, worry for me. I know it's silly, but athletes have these crazy things that they think.
Because you just constantly want to compete and do best.
Yes, and be seen and do well. And I know that when I walk, into the competition area, I want the other girls to see me and notice me and know, okay, there she is, and I'm scared of that girl, and she's the one to beat. And, you know, it's so funny because in Dubai, everybody on Instagram is an athlete, you know. They put up these beautiful pictures and they're an athlete, and when they come to the competition, you say, oh, I know that girl from social media. But it's actually the silent ones who don't have a big Instagram account and who aren't, you know, promoting themselves. Those are the ones to watch out for.
Always.
So Dubai is all about Instagram and everything, and sport is not about that. Sport is about the work that you put behind the social media. So you can't let that get in your way. And I think maybe a lot of athletes nowadays, you know, have to deal with that, with social media being intertwined very much so in their sporting career.
Sure, that almost ties in with our quote about validation as well. But I think there's still so much more to explore with Dominique. We need to take a little bit of a breather.
Yeah, we certainly do. We need to speak a little bit about life in Dubai, about being married to a former Olympian, and
Mrs.
also
Krause.
about redefining yourself, you know, because I think that's something that actually, whether you're in sports or not, it's something that every single woman throughout life at different stages has to actually do. It's obviously really highlighted for Dominique and for athletes, but how do we redefine ourselves, and just how easy is it? Can we be honest about that conversation? Let's continue the conversation on social media. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back. On Zobuhile Nanolarna Lama Fumahati, Eling the ladies clap mona makanaleng ya bobedi rinse re bua le Dominic Man Krause. Before the break ne re bua ka transitioning gore o ila tlogela papadi ya gymnastics hona jwalo nka karolo mo obstacle course racing after the age of 32, the importance of transitioning. And finding a new identity.
Yes.
How important and how significant, how difficult is that?
It is hard, and one of the hardest things was because I was so well known as a gymnast. When I started the new sport, when I went to the competition, everyone's like, "Oh my goodness, there's Dominique Mann," but they don't know if I'm going to be good at the sport or not. But already there's a target on my back, and so athletes that were beating me were saying, "Oh, hang on, I've beaten Dominique Mann, the big gymnast," but it's a brand new sport, and I was scared of that. I was scared people were going to think, "Oh, she's not that much of a great athlete," and it's hard, especially with social media. I have a very amazing sponsor. I can't let them down. I have to produce results for them. So that's also another thing, that you have to try to deal with. Yes.
You were 5 times African aerobic gymnastics champion, 10 times national champion, 3 times KwaZulu-Natal pole vault champion. Pole vaulting was put on the back burner when we realized that there was no pole vaulting in Dubai. And since you've taken up obstacle course racing, gold at the Wadi Adventure Race in Dubai and then bronze in the Spartan Race in Dubai, what did those victories mean for you?
So the bronze is actually a bigger victory than the gold, believe it or not. But it's weird. When I went for that gold medal, I was just one of the athletes in the background, absolutely no pressure, and I took gold. As soon as there's a little bit of pressure on you, your mind's ticking, and then it went down to bronze. But for me, the bronze medal was a bigger achievement just because the Spartan Race is a bigger franchise. So that was a bigger competition for me to win, and girls had come from around the world. So the bronze medal means more to me, even though I have, reached the gold podium in Dubai.
But let's take it back a little bit. What is obstacle course racing? Because I think we might be speaking above a lot of people right now. What is it?
Okay, so in layman's terms, it's basically a whole bunch of running. So you would start the race going out strong, run, climb over things, crawl under things, jump over things, exactly like that. Warrior races, Spartan races. It's exactly like that. You've got to have great grip strength. You've got to have endurance. You've got to have strength. You've got to be strong up here. You've got to know that if you jump across something, you're going to make it. You can't be scared.
But the insane thing is your very first one, you didn't think much of it and you came 5th.
Yes, and if I hadn't have, I think if I had done a competition in South Africa, I wouldn't have done well. The fact that I was in Dubai, no one knew who Dominique Man, the gymnast, was. I had absolutely no pressure, and I took 5th place. So pressure plays a big role in sport. I can tell you that right now. It did for me.
What are your goals now when it comes to obstacle course racing? Because that's going to be the focus for 2019.
Definitely. I'm hoping for a very competitive year this year. I want to enter myself in as many competitions as possible, as many small competitions as possible. I have a lot to learn in the sport, and hopefully if I do well and I concentrate and I train hard, I can take on those big competitions. And of course, any athlete, I would like to reach the top of those podiums too. So that's my goal.
And behind all of that is family. You come from a very athletic, sporty family, so to speak.
Yes.
And then you went on to marry a former Olympian as well. So how important is Charles Krause's support in your life as Mrs. Krause?
So firstly, family is very important to me. I'm one of 5 kids, so family is everything. Hence, I love being in South Africa with my family. Also, getting married last year to Charles, it was such a wonderful thing for me to do. It was just...
Look at you.
Oh, it was just wonderful. I'm so happy being married, and it's such a wonderful experience. It really is. We had a long-distance relationship prior, and once we got married, we came together and started living together. That was new as well. So everything's been fun and games and new this year. It's been a very crazy year. Retirement, moving to Dubai, moving in, with my first man, my husband. It was crazy but wonderful. Yeah.
And how does his understanding of being a professional athlete help you or challenge you?
So I always say I don't know how a professional athlete, is married to a non-athlete, because that person has to be very understanding. Yeah. So Charles knows what it takes, how many hours it takes for me to achieve my goals, and he retired and he didn't choose to carry on with sport. I retired and I did choose to carry on with sport, and it's been very unselfish of him to let me do that, because that requires me to travel and to be away from him. Also, what's very nice is in Dubai, he is my coach. Wow. So he's actually turned my coach in Dubai, which is such a wonderful experience for us. It's been also a big learning curve for our relationship. So and I'll have to respect him as a coach and, leave the rest aside.
Wow. So it's a lot of blurred lines there, because how do you know when to challenge or not to challenge? Is it baby while you're coaching, or is it shawl?
It's definitely Charles while we're coaching. Yeah, completely different relationship from when we're home. But, you know, being in Dubai, not having all the luxuries of home, he became my coach, and it was the best decision. We're learning together, we're learning about the sport together, we're making mistakes together, and it's been such a fun journey, I must say. Yeah.
What is life like in Dubai? Because there's quite a big expatriate community of South Africans that are there, but so different as a country from South Africa.
Yes, Dubai is absolutely wonderful. Everything works well and on time, and it's amazing like that. But I will take South Africa any day. With all its little warts, I will take South Africa. I'm a home girl, and I can't wait for us to move home and start our family at home here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what does 2019 have in store for you?
Hopefully a lot of podium finishes, a lot of competitions. I've pre-entered myself in a whole bunch of competitions, and hopefully my training pays off and I get a couple of good finishes. Even not podium, just a couple of good finishes. And every time I compete, I'm learning more. I'm learning more about the other athletes there, how they race. How to read their race. How I've learned from them. So yeah, just hopefully train hard and hit those races hard. Yeah.
How do you keep in shape? 32 years
she
old.
looks amazing.
She's been injury-free throughout her aerobic gymnastics career. You need to share some of those secrets that you've kept in your kitchen cupboard, please. From diet
I do have a few secrets. Okay, so firstly, I am literally a hypochondriac. When I feel the slightest niggle on my body, I am at the physio. Some athletes, they push their bodies. I'm not like that. I sort it out then and there. That's my injury-free secret. As soon as I get something, I'm there. I always have a team, kind of working on my body. In terms of eating, I do have definitely my cheat meals, but I do follow a strict diet.
What is that diet?
Goodness, when I'm in competition season, especially when leading up to competitions, I cut sugar out completely.
Even the natural sugars?
Completely natural, added everything. Just
fruit
and vegetable based diet is mainly what I eat. When I'm training hard, I do need extra substance, but definitely hotting up to competitions, it's fruit and veg supplements. That's pretty much what I compete on.
You look really, really incredible. I mean, I'm looking at some of these visuals. What kind of music gets you going just before competing? Because what you're doing when you're going into the obstacle, what is it? Obstacle?
Yes,
the obstacle race.
Yeah.
That's adrenaline based. That's
yes. It's so funny because I actually, normally athletes have their beats on and they get their music and they get off on their music, but I don't. I find that if I listen to music before I compete, it makes me anxious.
Really?
So I don't listen to music at all. I like to hear everything that's going on around me. So yeah.
Wow.
So I don't have my pre-music, high. I don't have that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have a quote or a motto that you live by?
Yes, well, I always say what you do in the dark shows in the light. That's, those who work hard in the dark, they will shine on the top of the podiums. That's definitely what I train and live by.
It's quite relevant, especially considering our social media conversation.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Okay,
yes.
I'm taking
social media is very deceiving.
It is very deceiving. What you see on that is definitely not what it is.
On the other hand, your Instagram is your best kind of CV, isn't it? So
apparently so.
So someone sees your name there, you type it in, and they can see all about you. So it's a catch-22. You've got to monitor it very well. Very fine line.
Oh, Dominique, thank you so much. I'm taking that quote with me. What you do in the dark
shows in the light.
Shine in the light.
Thank you so much. You've been absolutely incredible. Please keep in touch with us while you're away in Dubai and all your competitions so we can support you on social media platforms.
Yes, isn't that crazy? Yes. Thank you for having me, ladies.
Yeah,
you're awesome.
Such honest conversation. Thank you so much for coming and laying your heart out for us and for our Ladies Club viewers. Let's do it again next week. Remember, until then, that greatness is always earned and never ever given. God bless. Goodbye.